is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath. So good to share energy with you tonight. All right, so I have a channel to read. I am on location, we're traveling, and I'm going to get into it. There's no time to change your mind. The sun has come, and you've been left behind. This song has been playing in my head all day. I'm going to be apropos using the biblical tarot to do the channeled reading. This song is a song that I remember from, deep in my Christian days, and it's kind of an eerie song. It's about the rapture, but my angel said that we were going to flip it and reverse it. We're going to do a little bit of a remix on this. There's a couple of things that are happening here. So you are representative as the Empress, as the sun. Okay, so you are representative as the sun, and what that song is talking about is the Son of God. So it's saying Jesus has come, the trumpet has blown, the rapture has taken place, and the saints have been called home. For those of you guys that are familiar with Christian theology or theology and what that means. The rapture is written about in the book of Revelation. So it's very apocalyptic. That the whole book is written apocalyptically, and the person who wrote it was exiled and having these incredible hallucinations, visions, and dreams about the end of the world, and did incredible describing of things that he couldn't have known about, like helicopters and nuclear war and whatever. He describes flesh melting off and whatever. So it's very, very dark. He talks about the pale horse. Behold, the pale horse. He talks about the four horsemen of the apocalypse and of the tribulation. It's deep. So I don't know that we're going that deep if you're not familiar with it, or if that's not something that you have knowledge of. I think this is going to be tied into just your energy, empath. So I'm going to do the best that I can to try to get you guys the message. There is no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you were left behind. I believe the song was made in the 70s or the 80s, but I just remember hearing it. It was like really, I think it's called I Wish We'd All Been Ready. There's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. And so it was kind of like trying to encourage people to get saved before the second coming of Christ. Well, there's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. My angels have been just saying that to me all day, and I feel like this has to do with you going away, or with a relationship that has shifted or ended. And guys, you guys know whenever I'm traveling, the setup is what it is. There is an office space here for me, but I'm comfortable and we're into bed, so that's what it is. So you are on a thing that's rocking. So I'm gonna try to keep it as still and steady as it can. I've anchored it. I've done the best I can. Hopefully it doesn't fall tonight. So there's no time to change your mind. The sun has come. Hi, sweetie. And you've been left behind. So I will answer any questions that you may have at the end of this. I just want to get the message out while it's fresh in my mind. There's no time to change your mind. This is so interesting. The Ace of Cups. This has to do with someone someone that loves you, or someone that you love, with the Ace of Cups. But you know what is so interesting here? This is like Jesus, and specifically Jesus talking to the woman at the well. Whoever drinks this water, I will give them thirst that never ends. Indeed, the water I give them will become the spring and the water welling up to eternal life. Ace of Cups, the Samaritan and the woman at the well. You fed into someone, you were loving someone, you were pouring time and energy into someone, and someone maybe didn't understand exactly what you were doing. This is something that happens a lot in empath lives. I see that we are very busy already, and thank you for whoever said Jesus loves me. Thank you so much. Yeah, but you were betrayed. I can't make this up. So with the Ten of Swords here, the Ten of Swords, and one of the things that's coming up here specifically with this betrayal is that your spirit team was watching what was happening. So this playback is not going to be for whoever's going to be trolling me in the lives. We welcome all trolls because they help the algorithm to Appreciate you. Even demons do good work. Um, uh, even demons do good work. It's okay. I'm gonna let everybody troll. I don't have a moderator tonight. I'm gonna let the Lord moderate it. I'm gonna let Carmen moderate it. And so, wow. I have no idea what's going on, but for my people that are actually part of this collective, you guys will watch this back and you will get this. With Ten of Swords, this is someone that's betrayed you and someone that came in and someone that has betrayed you. So let's see here. I'm going to ignore all of the craziness that is going to be happening. There's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. I can't make it up. So what I have here with the the 6 of Pentacles here is someone that is definitely wanting, um, someone that is definitely wanting to, hold on one second. So for the people in the chat that are still here, uh, for my collective, someone is now begging. One of the things that I'm channeling is Cup of Nickels, and one of the things that I feel like is happening is that there is, hold on one second, guys. Okay. One of the things that I feel like is happening is that someone is needing your time and your energy, and someone needs, they want back in. I mean, I really feel like these would be people that would be begging at your door or wanting back into whatever it was that you were providing for them into whatever degree, but they can't get back in because they betrayed you actually, and they didn't really believe that you were maybe light or energy in their life. Let's see here. They didn't believe that you had a message for them or that you were dispatched in. They absolutely took for granted, hello, to whoever just came in. They absolutely took for granted and they weren't really paying attention, but now they are watching here with the Page of Swords very specifically. They are paying attention. There's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. There's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. The High Priestess. The big message here, guys, is that you knew how an ending, how an ending was going to go. You knew how an ending was going to go. You knew how it was going to end up. You also knew that they were going to be missing you here. 3 of Wands. You knew that they were going to be missing you. But it's a whole new karmic beginning. You know, there's a portal, especially after we just went through 888, that is opened and closed for a portal that has opened and closed for so many of you guys. And it means that some people are not able to even get into your energy again. And with the 7 of Pentacles, they wish that they had invested, is what I'm hearing. So there's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. And this is causing them nightmares. And it's causing them to have to wrestle with their own ego, their dark shadows. And it's something, Angel, show me what it is for the collective. I mean, this is your spiritual perspective, is what I'm hearing. As a hermit here, you were created and dispatched in to do this and to do it again and again and again and again. And it sometimes doesn't seem fair, but you are there and you're dispatched here to shepherd. And it's very spiritual. And at times, I'm feeling I walk a lonely road, the only road that I've ever known. And you do walk a lonely road. This is John the Baptist, very specifically, who, I mean, I can't, miss out on the symbology. John the Baptist was renowned and made fun of really for being a crazy person that wandered the desert, and he walked a lonely road. And everybody thought he was crazy, but he was a prophet. And he was a prophet that really did a lot of work before Jesus began his ministry, even though John the Baptist and Jesus met in each other's mother's wombs. Literally, their mothers met when they were both pregnant with each other, but John the Baptist began his ministry before Jesus. And so you started something, or started to do something, or started to speak about something way before there was ever a foundational precipice for, or a foundational um, preliminary work laid, for it. And one of the things is that one of the things that happened is that it meant that a lot of people could dismiss you. And so, in order to protect yourself, you decided to do the only thing you could do, which is hermit. There's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. People didn't listen to you. This archetype is seen throughout the Bible. People not listening to Noah. People not listening to Jonah when he came to Nineveh. Prophets that are dispatched in to say the truth about what is happening, whatever's happening in the life around them. Oracles, prophets, whatever you may call them. And John the Baptist was that, but it was very lonely. The thing about John the Baptist is that he got comfortable in his solace. He actually liked being alone. He actually liked wandering barefoot in the desert and eating locust and honey. He was okay with that because he felt like, to some degree, that there was peace in that. And I think a lot of you guys have found that peace, but it means that a lot of people dismissed you as crazy when you were really trying to shine light. And it may have even caused you a dark night or two or three or five for yourself here. You see those people gossiping in the background? That's very much the collective that didn't listen to you and that didn't understand what you were about, and didn't understand the mandate that you had, or maybe the spiritual insight that you had, or the spiritual calling that was on your life. They didn't understand. And so instead, they started fights. There was gossip, there was slander here with the Knight of Swords. Or maybe it was fun that you wanted to start the fights because you couldn't be subdued, you couldn't be overcome. There was no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. But the portal that just opened and closed here, especially when I saw the world, I saw the ending of something and the beginning of something new. You couldn't even go back if you wanted to. And for many of you guys, you don't want to, thankfully. But the thing is, there's a lot of people that tried to come against you with the Five of Wands here, that tried to fight you, that tried to lie to you, that tried to gaslight you, that absolutely were your enemy. Look at the scowls and sneers on their faces. Very much the energy of like trolls that would pop into the live. People that need a lot of attention, but people that absolutely can't believe that you were chosen. Again, we have Joseph here with the coat of many colors, and this is his brothers behind him. So maybe you were betrayed by family, or people that felt like family, or people that were close to you, or people that were supposed to love you, or lovers. Maybe you were sleeping with the enemy. There's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. There came a certain point in your journey, collective, where you accepted your fate. Look at the look on his face. It's like he's accepted it. He understands that they hate him. And they hate him because his father loved him so much. One of the videos that I have here in my library is called Joseph. It's called The Price of Die, The Cost of Die. And it is a channeled message about what went into him having that coat that was so beautiful. and why he was given that and why it caused jealousy. This very much ties into tall poppy syndrome, another video that I have here in my library where I talk about a channeled message regarding tall poppy syndrome, where the tall poppy is often cut down in most societies. People can't really handle someone who's different, who stands out. And if you were John the Baptist or you were Joseph, in your life. You were that archetype. That means that you stood out. Your light was bright. You had wisdom that people did not understand. And so they tried to take you down, thinking that they were doing the work of God and that it was God's plan, when actually they were set up as the enemies that need to watch you eat, when God would set the table before you in preparation, like he promised to do in Psalms. God will set the table before you in the presence of your enemies, and they were your enemies all along. There's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. In order for that prophecy to ring true and to be completely fulfilled, the truth of the matter is that you were probably left behind first, abandoned first, whether that was emotionally, spiritually, or energetically. People try to do their worst. But what ends up happening is that people will end up on bended knee. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. To whomever that is. I'm doing good. People will end up on bended knee, usually, and they will finally see, but there will be no time to change their mind. The reason that that song always disturbed me is because it was foreboding. Because it scared me, which I think a lot of the fire and brimstone Christianity can do, which is that if you don't get right, then Jesus is going to leave you. And as a kid, I interpreted it just that way. I think the song had the effect that it was intended to. There's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. But there's something to be said about the absolute of right and wrong, and about knowing when to go along to get along or when to go with the crowds and the throngs yelling and acting like they don't understand. I'm thinking of Noah right now, with people telling him he was crazy as he built the ark for so many years. Thank you. Thank you. As he built the ark for so many years. And so the thing that really caught me with that is that people will often naysay and disparage whatever it is that you are told to do, or whatever way that you're guided to move. But when you evolve and you get older and you mature, you realize that there is something beautiful about the absolutes. There is no time to change your mind. The son has come and you've been left behind. He was literally a son and a brother, and he was a son and brother that ended up saving his brothers later, the same brothers that tried to betray him. Sometimes empath, seer, light worker, earth angel, you can see things that are coming that make you heavy. Oftentimes I get messages that come to me that are long before they ever play out, and I know exactly how things are going to play out, and I know who's going to betray me. One of the things that I'm channeling here too is about Jesus turning to the table and saying, which one of you will betray me? And each one of the disciples saying, never me, Jesus, not me. Well, if you get into the intricacies of the scripture, as I have back when I was definitely immersed more into my Pentecostal and Christianity, you realize that Jesus turns to Judas first and hands him the bread. Take, eat. This is my body, which is given to you. Do this for the remembrance of me. He broke bread with a person of which he knew, and that in his mind's eye he could see would be his Judas, literally, would be the person that would sell him for shekels to end his freedom and to take his life. And sometimes you guys are that close to people with hungry and evil eyes, who are avaricious and greedy for your demise, who are waiting and plotting on you, who will spin a tale right before you and lie and try to get others to ostracize and ignore you, because they need to win to whatever degree. But once that decision's made, that's what I mean about the beauty of absolutes. There is no time to change your mind. Once you've betrayed the Son of God, the Son of Man, the earth angel, the special friend, the spouse, whomever, the sister, the brother, once you've betrayed that person and treated them like they were just any other, when they were called out, then you will be stuck in that emotional drought, the Four of Pentacles. Then no solace can you seek. It's an absolute. You will no longer be free. That is what happens. And that's a 180 it completely, not just even a full 360. It's a 180. It turns from what it was into something else that you couldn't see and couldn't predict, because for maybe the people coming against you, that just wasn't their gift. You know, you earth angels don't realize how ahead of the curve you really are with things. And because something is obvious to you doesn't mean that it's obvious to those that may come against you, that may disparage you, for those that may be jealous of you, for those that may be intimidated by you, that may fear you, that may want to just ostracize you and say that you're strange. And that's okay. I mean, it's all models for us here biblically. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Jesus said that as he hung on the cross, as he died for me and you. If we are to understand the scripture, he said that while he was in racking pain with his body in shreds and thorns in his head. You are not the first to be persecuted, for whomever is watching. We have models for that, and it happens in all of the great good books that are spiritual, not just the Bible. There is not just the hero's journey, but the journey of persecution and being outcast, only to be lauded later and seen as someone who actually wasn't so crazy. But there is a time of isolation that happens first, when everyone casts you out and everyone is filled with doubt, and everyone says, watch out, be on guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist of abundance of possessions. Someone wanted you to be in need and in lack, but you were really where the storehouses were. And here is the thing, this is a parable of the rich fool. The ones that were around you were rich fools, is what I just channeled. They were rich fools. And so they thought they could hold on to whatever their knowledge was and didn't at all. Oh, thank you, sir. You're the kindest person that's been in here today. Thank you for looking up the meaning of the purple aura. I do try to be more globally focused. I want to help always, but thank you for what you've seen. Today has been heavy, and so I wanted to come and give back, and I appreciate your kindness, and I bless you, and I pray that blessings befall you times 20 in every way possible. You don't know how nice it was for you to just be kind. I appreciate you. There's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. Yeah, I was guided to wear a purple bow. I feel heavy in my emotions because it's hard when you know. It's hard to know things that other people don't know. It's hard to understand why something could play out and it could still be considered God's plan. It's hard to have losses, and sometimes it's hard to have wins. And when you're in hermit mode, it's just you figuring out those things. I want you to absolve yourself of whatever the heavy weight is. Yes, all the puns intended for the trolls. I want you to absolve yourself of all of the heavy weight that is on your heart, because even though the wolves that and the demons that were in your lives try to tear you apart, you still have this kind of heart for them. 9 of Cups. You still wish that they could all eat at your table, but God said it will not work out that way. There's no time to change your mind. They actually picked a side, and now they will be left behind. Sometimes people want you to forgive them. Can you please take it back? Can I take it back? Can you take me back? No. What people don't realize is very much like salvation. Access to your energy, Earth Angel, is something that they probably had a long period of time to enjoy, a long period of time to make up their mind. Yes, that is beautiful. Yeah. A long period of time to make up their mind. Focusing on your energy is a fantastic thing to do. And when life ostracizes you, it's something that you will have no choice but to do. People look at the hermit as a bad thing, but I see it as a place of rebalancing. So thank you for that comment. I think it's accurate, friend. I think it's accurate. There's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. People have a lot of time to make up their mind. I'm channeling Noah right now. And those people watching Noah build that ark had 40 years to decide that they wanted to get in, or they wanted to help him, or they wanted to take part in any capacity or degree. But they, I heard his vision, they could not see. And so, hi, Felicia. His vision, they could not see. And so, what happened was he had to do what was right for him. And angels watching, earth angels and light workers, you will have to do what's right for you. You will have to listen to the voice of God that's inside of you that guides you to do what you're supposed to do. Whenever you've left a toxic situation, a lot of people, I care for my clients all the time, have people try to spin the block and be like, no, 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 let's try it one more time. But there's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. You were the sunlight and the sunshine, and you were a radiant energy in people's life. And unfortunately, they wanted to sick the wolves on you. They wanted to tear you apart. They wanted to take another little piece of my heart. Now, baby, I'll break it. The King of Swords, narcissistic energy, toxic energy, lower vibrational energy, people that were steeped in their ego and their codependency and didn't want to let it go. They didn't want to let it loose. They didn't want to let it be free. The thing that a lot of people don't understand about this journey is that there are sacrifices that will be made whether you want to or not. John the Baptist sacrificed his comfort to be the forever and proverbial known hermit, meaning he didn't have shoes, he didn't have a warm bed, he slept in caves, he slept on the ground, he slept with rocks under his head. His companions were animals that could never speak words, just utter, just breathing breath. That's all he had. But there was a sacrifice he made to have a spiritual level of deeper understanding. You will be called the sacrifice to Earth Angel, but anybody that wants to be proximal and in partnership with you will be called to sacrifice things too. Everybody wants to talk about their light and their shadow, and it's all well and good until they actually have to put in the work of that. What does it cost? What does it cost? How do you do it? What do you do? What you do is you continue to push through, but not everyone will have the temerity and the guts and the mettle to do what you do. You seem like you feel vibrations well and hate, hold on one second, being around your big crowds because you feel negative energy. Yeah, I don't do big crowds. That's why lives are me being obedient to my angels, because I would much rather do a pre-record because I can control it completely. But when you're sent here to do work, whatever it may be, you don't get to control everything completely. Humans will always be the variables. And even in hermit energy, one day you might walk up into a crowd of people. But yes, crowds absolutely deplete me. And it's something that's visceral. I can feel it. I remember being with people that are like, well, what does that feel like? Because it may not seem real if it's not something you can relate to. But for a lot of empaths here, you guys can relate. You know exactly what it is when you feel less than great when you're around people. Because people come with all of their energy and their hate and their evil eye. And I know it's not always negative, but if you live long enough, I mean, just scroll up if you want to see the trolls that were here earlier. That's usually what people don't understand about having an empathetic gift. Not everybody's gift is expressed in the same way, but I definitely have a lot of the clairs, so I can hear what people say. So it's like that movie with Mel Gibson. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's like that movie with Mel Gibson, What Women Want, where he all of a sudden had this special power to hear people's conversations. Well, the way that my gift works is not exactly like that, so I'm not going to even tell that lie, but pretty close. pretty close, and I can hear what people say, and I can tell when people lie. And that is heartbreaking, to look people in the eye that you love and to know that they are lying. But the thing is, we lie to ourselves all the time. People lie to us, they lie to God. So my angels have had to have me do like a gut check. Like, what do you expect? Like, what do you expect? But still, it hurts. And also, still, there's disrespect. And so while I can seem like a tender soul, I've had to learn how to take control, even of the trolls, and to not break my neck or tolerate any form of disrespect, because I know what I'm here to do, and I know what you are here to do as an earth angel and an empath too. With the Queen of Swords, that is the answer to the King of Swords. I think it's very interesting. Balancing your masculine and feminine energies is something that you are absolutely doing. And thank you so much, Turt. What a gift you are tonight. I appreciate you. You make fantastic decisions. Earth Angel Empath, I want you to know that. With the Ten Commandments here and the Queen of Swords, you make fantastic decisions. But I love this Queen of Swords because you will take counsel, but it's of a higher up. In this Queen of Swords specifically, she's blessing this man that's talking to her in the card. And she's saying, may you be blessed for your good judgment and keeping me from bloodshed this day and from avenging myself with mine own hands. So, Abigail, the peacemaker, excuse me, Abigail was the peacemaker. And so Samuel was thanking her for this. And so you, when you are an earth angel, you will have to really sharpen and hone your discernment. And you will have to figure out whose head it's going to be off with. Very much King of Solomon energy, actually. And people would like to disparage you and say that you can't see and that it couldn't be and you're just crazy. But there is a great there's a great steadiness that has to happen before you make those decisions. It's not impetuous. And that means if humans are the variable, you have to be able to navigate them with a stealthy coolness, okay? They're showing me alligators that hibernate and just stick their snouts up through the ice, and they slow their heartbeats down to 3 beats a minute, and they turn on some system in their body that deals with any kind of parasites so that they can, it's like they make their own antibiotics in their body, and they are living off of whatever is in their stomach, and they can do that for months until it thaws or until they can come up. And when you are the Queen of Swords and people are trying to mess you up, people are trying to spill your cup of treat, people are trying to trip you up, they're saying that I'm hearing the autonomic nervous system, I'm saying that wrong, is something that gets engaged and you go into primal energy. You can't afford blind rage, is what I just heard them say. Meaning, I do not, as an earth angel, you do not, as a light worker, you do not have the luxury of immediate reaction, even if someone is a threat to you. And I'm not talking about if you're in a physically dangerous situation. Your fight or flight will engage at that point, and we're praying for survival for you at all times. But when you're in psychological warfare, you do not get to react immediately. That's for the impetuous people that don't believe that you see and hear what you do see and hear. But yes, going through large crowds can be tough, but being around people who wish you death, that is when enough becomes enough, and that's when you have to activate that Queen of Swords. And you have to be wise. You have to be wise. You don't get the luxury of reaction times the way that the rest of the world that doesn't see and hear the way you do, because it is very serious, and I take this serious too, and I'm going to pass it along to you. It's not just heavy as a head that wears a crown. It is to whom much is given, much is expected. You have a higher level of understanding and perception, and what that means is you do not have the luxury of reacting like people that do not hear and see like you. They're just going off of their prefrontal cortex, all primal reactions. You have to engage other parts of your brain. You have to get into theta and beta stages, and that's why the meditation matters and all of those things, so that you can get yourself into hearing deeply. I'm hearing the hum of monks chanting. I'm hearing the cadence of drums being played on beaches in circles where no one's talking, and there are all different ethnicities, but there's one thing we understand, which is the rhythm and the breeze. And when you are in this kind of response time and when you are hearing from the divine, that's who informs you. It's the movement, it's the seeds, it's the ebb and the flow, it's the way that the tides go, it's the energy, it's the upturn and the curl of a lip. Is it contempt that it's filled with? Does it drip with hatred for you? Or is it a smile in the eyes, the crow's feet that welcome you, that say, we are so happy to see you? And when you are an empath and an earth angel, all you can do is read those things like Pocahontas, all the colors of the wind. You do not have a choice to do it over again. You have that moment. I'm hearing Eminem. You only have one shot. You only have one shot. You cannot miss your chance. Opportunities to protect yourself, to discern something, to understand, to end something, to follow God's plan come once in a lifetime. And where do you stand, empath? So you do not get the luxury of impetuous reactions and tantrums. It doesn't mean you haven't had them. It doesn't mean that you're not susceptible. It doesn't mean you're impervious to those emotions. It means that you choose to be stoic in the face of tough decisions. There is no time to change your mind, and that's why you measure twice so that you can cut once. Because once that sword swings and you move on to other things, or you decide this thing no longer gets to stay, you no longer can pull that blade away and said, oh no, I'm sorry, I was just playing. There is no more play. And people underestimate the weight that is on your shoulders from day to day to make the decisions in the righteous. I'm talking about the righteous way. But you do with the Ten Commandments here. You follow what is guided to you. You listen to what you are supposed to do. You move the way you are guided to. Your moral compass is pure. And it doesn't mean that you follow exactly what's chiseled onto these tablets. It means that you have a connection with the divine and you listen and you pay attention when they whisper to you that person in front of you is on demon time. You don't pay attention to the upturned corners of their mouth. You pay attention to the duping delight that drifts by quickly. You pay attention to the flutter in their eyebrow when they're lying directly to thee. And that's what makes you different. And that also is what makes them despise you. And that's also why you are cast aside, you are persecuted, you are denied, so that you can be in those moments of exile, in your deserts, 40 years wandering, so that you can understand exactly who you are. Because people are very much hive mentality and they go along with the group, but the group never gets you far. In fact, as Turt just was mentioning, for empaths here watching, the group gets you sick. The group is not a gift. The group can be a grift. They are grifters. They will steal your energy. They will steal your light. The sun has come and you've been left behind. Miss Laura, you are a sight for sore eyes. It's been a heavy night. I'm so glad you're here. And now the trolls you can fight. I did my best. There's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. People will challenge that decision. They will challenge you, but they do not know the weight that you carry. They do not know the work that you do. They do not understand and could never begin to understand the things that pass through you. And what I mean by that is hearing and feeling the emotions of many. And when I say your moral compass is upstanding, and it is right, with the Ten Commandments here and justice, really, this is balanced energy. You do that well. You balance things and you do it properly and you do it fairly. You do it justly. You do it judiciously. Turt says energy vampires around us. Yeah. And they are jealous of the energy that you give out. And in any case, guys, that's something that my angels wanted you to see and hear. There's no time to change your mind. Sometimes people never get near you again, and they will just be a stop along in your story. And that's why the Bible's here. It's an allegory, and it's about the things you will go through. And I'm so grateful. Nothing is ever wasted, they said, because as you begin to embrace your isolation instead of longing to be at the party here with the Three of Cups, what you will realize is you become the alchemist. And that's when enough is really enough here. The magician. This is Moses specifically tapping his staff and working in co creation in tandem to part the Red Sea. They've talked about this in science journals and about the real possibility. What could have happened? Could there have been a pillar of light? Could it have been a storm? Could it have been a tsunami? What was happening that was against the norm? And it doesn't matter how many ways people try to discern this, it's not for them to do, because the truth is there's an alchemist in every one of you, and you don't get to know the magician or the alchemist in you until you have embraced the isolation that you will be put through, or the rejection that you will be put through, or the lies that they will tell on you, or the way that they will castigate you and outcast you. I wish that wasn't the formula, but if it was good enough for the most important and famous thought leaders and or ascended masters specifically, then it's good enough for you. That's the way that it has to be. There is something about getting outside of your comfort zone, whether it's something that is forced upon you or something you choose willingly, that actually puts you in the frame of mind to receive the downloaded channel messages so that you can hear and that you can actually fine tune those commandments that are for you, that moral compass that will lead you, that will help you make decisions in times when you have a throng coming against you, whether it be friend or family, and people that swear they would never betray you. You have to be in control and in connection with your intuition, your star player, and your heart as it guides you, and your mind and your throat chakra. There's a whole alignment that is happening before you. You cannot be the rich fool. There are a lot of rich fools around you. A lot of people that were rich in whatever the world offered them. But when you step into this hermit energy and you step into this new direction, which you have done from according to earlier in the reading with the world card there, that's a portal that you stepped into. That is a new earth aligning for you. There's no time to change your mind, not even for you. The sun has come. And you have not been left behind, but those that have tried you have been left behind. Those that denied you have been left behind. Those that betrayed you have been left behind. And Spirit was watching the whole time. And that's probably the only thing that I take comfort and solace in. I cannot make everyone atone for sins, and that's not my job. I have no heaven or hell to put you in. But I can hold my boundaries and I can stand back and let Spirit step in. Nothing is missed. Every lie that's told, every lying tongue, every forked tongue, a lot of snakes around you guys. The angels and the ancestors are watching with disappointed eyes. Some of you guys were so integral that people's own ancestor team was disgusted with them. It's not the first time that's happened to me. I've seen it happen time and time again. But these are some of the benefits that come with you being the hermit. It's no fun. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, you will come to a place of acceptance in that journey where it's like, well, this is what I actually want to do, because you'll find great peace in it. That's the secret of the hermit, that eventually it's not just something that you have to do. It's not a mandate that's upon you. It's something that you'll embrace and be like, oh my goodness, wow, yes, I get it now. I get that being away from the crowd actually gives me great peace. But there's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. I can't make it up. I can't make it up. I can't make it up. The Five of Cups. This is what it will feel like at first for you, and then later, subsequently, for those that tried to betray you or exile you or did. Maybe they didn't try, maybe they were incredibly successful at it. Okay? As my mother used to say, nothing beats a trial but a failure. It sounds like they didn't fail initially, but they failed spiritually. They failed figuratively. They failed when it came to longevity. There's no time to change your mind. The son has come and you've been left behind. After he had spent everything, there was severe famine in the whole country, and he began to be in need. You were in need once, Earth Angel. Empath, you were in need. You were in an isolated place here. You were on a designated break here with the Four of Swords. You were set apart and set away here so that you can go inward and understand what you really know and what you really see and what you really feel. And when you were in need, there were people around you that laughed at your pain and that wouldn't give you a drop of water, even if they were the owners of rain. They wouldn't give you a single thing. And now, fortunately, I'm so proud of you. You are not retaliatory in the way that they would be to you. But you know who is retaliatory? My sweet earth angels. It's above you. It's your spirit team. They will be in need. And that's very much the essence of the song. It's heavy. There's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. For those that dared to disregard, they will be in disrepair. They will be in despair. It's not something I speak over them. I'm sharing it with you because actually I care. I care as much as Noah did as he hammered the nails in. I care as much as Jonah did as he rode back in the whale to say, okay, people of Nineveh, you need to get right. I care like Elijah did before he was lifted into the night. I care like Jesus did when he was on the cross, except not as much. I care because I know that when all is lost, all they will long for is your touch. There's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. There will be many that are left behind because they were purposefully, intentionally blind. You communicated with clear messages. You were honest and you gave what Spirit told you to give. And for it, you were rewarded with isolation and ignorance. There's no time for them to turn back again. There's no time for them to about face. Now they will be alone, and this will be their resting place. Misery. So many of those people that didn't want to hear what you were saying because you were crazy are people that are not comfortable in their own space and energy. They could never sit with this. They are rife with codependency. Codependency crawls on them like maggots, is what I heard. And they nest and lay with leeches like they are beautiful feathered birds. They think that they are amongst their own kind, and to a degree they are, but they are blind. They have no idea that what they are in is nightmare time. This is nightmare time for them. Isolation and hermit mode for the people that came against you is their worst nightmare. They can't be alone, not with their own thoughts. They don't trust themselves. And so, what was hell for them is a refuge, a welcome refuge for you. Your hermit mode for a lot of empaths and earth angels is like, woof, thank God I'm away from the crazy, right? But what I want you to understand is that it was all designed to go that way purposely. That's the real tell about who does their work, who stands on business, who understands and gets to know their worth, who knows that you are only as good as your own spiritual connection to the divine, that it's not about who you're in relationship with from time after time or which trauma you're replaying. Those are lessons, those are vehicles, those are chariots, if you will, that teach us how to navigate treachery and teach us how to navigate heartache and isolation and hermit mode, for goodness sake. But they are not our resting place. It is not our final destination. And being at peace with yourself, like Turt says, unbothered by a lot of what you see, is a gift too. When there is talking nonsense, it never bothered me because I know they just want a reaction out of me. They do. They do. They do. And that's what I was saying earlier as I was channeling the messages, is that your slow reaction time is one of your greatest gifts. It has saved me time and time again from people that wanted to hurt me, just hurt me, is not letting them see the reaction that they wanted to see. I know what they wanted because we're all human. And I also hear it actually. But it's not about giving them the satisfaction. It's about me surviving as I'm guided to, because my mission on life is to help people grow and ascend. It's not to react to the likes of them or you, whomever the you is in your life, right? They would like you to be embroiled in that because the demons that are attached to them need to feed off of you. And that may seem scary. And yes, we're working with biblical tarot, and the song is a Christian song that's channeled. But let's talk about it metaphysically. Read Eckhart Tolle if you'd like to. There are thought bodies that are toxic at times that need to feed. There are archons that feed off of the divine. And so it's not, demon time is a quick way, and it's a quick vehicle to get to the point. But people want you disjointed. They want you bent out of shape. They want you not sitting in your rightful place. They do not want your head erect. They do not want you to treat yourself with respect. They do not want you to like you. And people may even sidle up to you, just like in the garden that snake did do, just to whisper to you about whatever they perceive your insecurities to be. And earth angels, what I submit to you is that's actually what makes your humanity even more beautiful. Of course, you have insecurities. Of course, you haven't got it right. Of course, there are people that didn't treat you right in your life. But guess what you live to do? To tell the tale. And you live to course correct. And you live to repel back. And you live to actually develop that self respect and to actually understand why you were, especially in America, everybody wants to be black until it's time to be black, meaning we have a lot of swag and culture and a lot of, magic. But are you willing to deal with the things that are tragic? Well, let's flip that onto the spiritual collective. You may want to hear, and you may want all the clairs, and you may want the intuition, and you may want the discernment, but do you want to have what comes with it? Do you want the Five of Swords, the Towers, the Seven of Swords, the Ten of Swords, the betrayal? Do you want the Nine of Swords, the triggered energy when you're crying into the night, when no one's by your side and you're working through what is Chiron in your chart and in your life? Why did they hurt you again and again? What was wrong with you that you were subjected to this treatment? But your angels say to you, you selected this because you were stronger than the rest, my good sis, my good sir. You knew something that they did not, which was that you would go the distance. I'm channeling, well done, my good and faithful servant. You have run a good race. Also biblical. You took up space and you dared to race and you dared to run and you dared to keep pushing even when the demons wanted to be feasting. If they can get you to be reacting, then it's a feast for them that night. But God even has an antidote for that moment in your life. God will set a table before you in the presence of your enemies. Those demons that are disconnecting and reconnecting the live, those demons that I rebuke right now, those demons are the ones that will have to watch you, and they will have to bow. Every tongue shall confess and every knee shall bow. That's really about the Lord. But for those of you that had to take up mighty swords or silent swords or queen of swords or king of swords to defend yourself, to integrate your masculine and feminine energy, to stand up to archons and slithering snakes and demons and bafflement and imps and jinns and fae, fairy that were not friends, you know where the sidewalk ends. And that sidewalk ends, and it may be in a hermited space. It may be where there is nobody in your face, but you are the one that stood up for what was right. And it was only by grace that you got through the night, that you got through the fight, that you fought for your life when no one would stand beside you. but they knew that you would do it because you were chosen to. That's what it means to be chosen. It's not a dream. It's not glamorous. It's not luxurious. It's not fun. It's not a sweet song to be sung. There's no time to change your mind. The sun has come and you've been left behind. When you were the sunshine in someone's life and they decided to not treat you right, and then you stood up like the Queen of Swords, the King of Swords, and you kept to your word, off with your head said a queen, said a king, then they were looking at life like it was a stranger thing. How could this be? How could this be my fate? I was only just playing in the collective's face. There's no time to change your mind. Your angels and the Pantheon and Spirit team chime. The sun has come. And whoever was disobedient to the prophet, to the beloved, has been left behind. That part. Being chosen does not always feel good. Being chosen costs something. It's a price many don't want to pay. But if you actually submit to turning up every day and doing the work that they send your way, Eight of Pentacles, what they say is you will become the master of it. This is what I mean by a lot of you guys have crossed into portals where you are in mastery. It is a sight to see. You are listening so deeply. You are listening and you have crossed through this portal. That circle to me looks like a portal. The beam of light, literally beam me up, Scotty. There is so much you have to shed to ascend, you know? There is so much you have to release to a light. There is so much you have to give up to burn bright. It costs you things. It's expensive, my kings and queens. It costs you sometimes energy and deferred dreams. I'm hearing we dream it better, we do it better for those in the collective that are introspectors. This is not about grind culture. Go-getters is what I wanted to say, and they said no. The introspection is how we clear the way for your ascension. I just got goosebumps. That's from the angels. There's no time to change your mind. Whew, the ascension. The sun has come and you've been left behind. Some of you guys have gone through the portal, and I want to congratulate you this time. I want to be the first one here to tell you that you did something that was impossible. You surrendered ego. You surrendered being right. You embraced the rejection. You went through the dark night. You let the tower fall. You went through withdrawal. You decided you could do it, and you didn't need anyone in your corner to toss you the ball. You didn't need a friend. You didn't need a lover. You didn't need a sister. You didn't need a brother. In order to ascend, you have to release. And I'm so proud to have pulled this card to stand in the gap to say congratulations for those of you that did your part and held your peace. You have passed through the portal. You are in graduation. You have made it to the other side of a new spiritual station. And I could not be so proud of you. There is no time for those that wanted to come with you to change their mind. You were the sun. It has come and gone, and they have been left behind. And so it is. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. They said you have nothing else to give. Maybe that's them saying it to me. Thank you to whoever Turt was and my other moderators that came in. Thank you for your kindness and for seeing me in my humanity. So good sharing energy with you guys. Come back and join me next time and we will continue to evolve together.